Hey everybody, welcome to Always Bored, Never Boring. When I was a kid, I loved board games. And when I was maybe 8 or 9, I discovered Games Workshop. And that was a pretty revolutionary moment in my life. And from that point on, I mainly played heavily thematic miniatures based games from Games Workshop up until I went to university and I thought to myself, I'm way too cool to play board games now. So I sold every game that I owned and I went to university. And when I came back, I realised that I really wasn't cool at all and I still really wanted to play board games. So I started getting back into the board games scene. And at that time, I started playing other types of games, mainly Euro games and strategy games. And then over time, I gradually sort of got back into miniatures gaming and thematic gaming and rediscovered my love of that particular type of games. However, I do love all types of games, and in fact only the other day somebody asked me what type of gamer I was, and the only answer I could give was I'm the type of gamer who likes sandwiches and tea. Because any game is fair game as far as I'm concerned. I do still veer towards thematic games more than anything else, but I will give anything a go. And that brings us to the subject of today's video, which is a little break from the kind of thing I've been doing recently. Because doing this channel and doing the associated blog, every now and again a company will contact me and ask if I will do a review of one of their products. And that is the case with this game, Castle of Mind, which was kindly provided for review. It is a product from the Fontanus Scientific Methodology Research and Education Centre, and I've had to do that several times to get that right because it's quite a mouthful. It is a 2-player strategy game. An abstract strategy game. So definitely not the type of thing that regularly gets shown on my channel. However, I'm currently preparing to do a written review for it on my blog, alwaysboredneverboring.com. But before that, I thought I would just do a quick video to shine some light on this particular game, show you what it's all about, and see what you all think. Let's take a look in the box. So here we have the game set up and ready to play. 2 players are on opposing sides of the table, and they each have 17 coloured pieces. 1 player has the pieces that have coloured rings, and those pieces are called full pieces, and the other player has pieces that have coloured dots in the middle, and those are called the blank pieces. And it is worth noting that this is a game based around colours. The board is very colourful and the colours matter, the pieces are coloured and that matters too. If you are colourblind, you're really not going to have a lot of fun with this game. And I'm a little bit colourblind, and some of the colours do occasionally become difficult to differentiate during play, especially under certain lighting conditions. There are grey pieces and white pieces that can seem very similar, especially if you are playing as the blanks, where you've just got a small coloured dot in the centre of your piece. So that is something to be aware of. But if you can get past the colour thing, the game is very easy to learn, very easy to teach, and once you're playing, it does open up some interesting opportunities for gameplay. Basically, you pick a player to go first, and that player must move one of their pieces. And pieces can move to any adjacent space, so diagonals are included in that. So this blue piece here, for example, could move to this green space, it could move to this green space, or it could move to this yellow space here. The exceptions are you cannot move into a space that already has a piece, and if a coloured piece is on a space of its own colour, it cannot move into another space of its own colour without first moving to a space of a different colour. Wow, that's a very simple rule that sounds very convoluted when you say it out like that. Basically, if I've got this blue piece and I am here on a blue space, I am not allowed to move that blue piece to any other blue space. I would have to move back to a grey space or a yellow space, whatever, and then move back onto a blue space. And that is important when it comes to taking pieces in this game, because the aim of the game is to either get one of your 3 red pieces to the red target at the centre of the board, or else take all your opponent's pieces, or take pieces and hem them in such a way that they are no longer able to move. Unlike many other games, you're not aiming to land on the other player's pieces. This is the central conceit of how the game works and what makes it stand out from other two-player strategy abstract games. You actually take an opponent's piece if they are standing on a space of a specific colour and you move a piece of the same colour onto a space of the same colour. And again, that sounds incredibly convoluted, but it's very simple in practice. For example, say my opponent has his red piece on this yellow space. I currently have a yellow piece down on this green space. Now, this puts that red piece in danger because on my turn, I am free to move my yellow piece onto this yellow space. And in doing so, I am allowed to remove from the board any opponent piece that is on a yellow space. So in this case, I would obviously take the red. And that's the same in any situation. For example, say we have a couple of pieces here on blues, and I have a blue piece here. If I move my blue piece onto a blue space on my side of the board, I can pick any of these valid targets to remove from the game. And this is why there is a restriction on moving a piece that's on a colour that matches its colour onto another space that matches its colour. Because otherwise you could whip around the board space by space, causing mass devastation to your opponent. You always have to have that situation where after taking a piece, that piece isn't able to take a consecutive piece. It would need to move back into any space of any other colour and then move into blue again, giving your opponent an opportunity to get out of dodge, to get those pieces out of the way before it becomes an issue. And that is the game. First player to get one of their red pieces to the middle will win. So if you can take out your opponent's red pieces, you will win. If you can take out all of your opponent's pieces, you will win. If you can get them in positions where they're not able to move because their only valid spaces to move into are spaces that match the colour of the piece and the piece is already on a space matching its colour, then you win. It's a game that when you try and explain it, it sounds quite convoluted, but in practice is very, very simple. And as soon as you show someone an example of how to take an opponent piece, it clicks. And from that point on, you'll be able to play fine. I've been playing this game with my daughter, who is 8, and she has picked it up no problem at all and is getting quite good at it. And at the moment, I'm still playing with it and I'm still trying to come to a final conclusion on what I think of the game. I am in two minds about certain things. One of the interesting things about the rules is that your pieces start on spaces of colours, so you're not even safe on your starting spaces. The only pieces that are absolutely safe from the start of the game are the 3 red pieces, because obviously no other red spaces are on the board except for the center, and once you get to the center you win, so there's no opportunity to actually take a red piece until it moves out. So you want to hold those red pieces back as long as possible, really, until you think you can make a run for the center of the board. But all your other pieces are actually fair game, and if you don't think ahead, if you don't plan your strategy, you can actually start getting your pieces removed from the board before they've even had a chance to do anything. So that kind of encourages you to be proactive and get your pieces out and get into position. However, what you will find is that once you've positioned pieces where they are in a position to take a piece on a subsequent turn, they tend to sit on guard, and sometimes you can get situations where the game starts to stagnate a little bit. You always have to move a piece, so there is that situation where eventually at some point someone will move, but that will quite often start a bit of a cascade, a domino effect, as they will take a piece, but because you've already set up some guards on opposing colours, you will then take a piece, but that will move you into danger, and your opponent will take a piece, and you can get an escalating effect in that sense. But there will be periods of the game where everyone's just manoeuvring into position and setting up guards, and it can feel like quite a slow build and then a flurry of takes. I do have issues with the level of recognition of colour that's necessary to play well. But other than that, it's a very simple, very straightforward game that does have enough crunch that you can really think about it. Once you've got another opponent that you've played with regularly and you're both getting quite good at the strategies, I think you can have a lot of fun with this. I do wonder if perhaps certain strategies will start to be recreated game after game. I've already found that trying to get a yellow piece up to the center of the board works quite well and seems to put you in good stead for blocking a lot of your opponent's moves. And you can also get situations where if all of your pieces of a certain color are taken, you can become quite frustrated because you lose the ability to take pieces that are on those colors on your opponent's side of the board. So as well as reducing your options there, you create a safe passage, a safe channel for your opponent to make use of to get to the center of the board. So there's lots to think about, and like I say, I'm still formulating my final opinion, but I wanted to show it to you guys so you could see what you think of it. This game is available to purchase from Amazon. It's only recently become available in the UK, which is why it was sent to me for review in the first place, but I believe it's been selling in other territories for a little while now. I will put a link in the description below so that if you would like to go and check it out on Amazon, you can do so. But that is it from me. Thank you very much for watching, and look out for the written review of this game on alwaysboredneverboring.com in the very near future. Thank you very much. If you have liked, please like. If you are not subscribing, please consider subscribing because it makes me very happy, and I will see you all again very soon. Bye bye everyone. Bye bye.